Welcome to Defense Web TV, the defense news channel of Army Recognition Group. You are watching our weekly defense recap, bringing you the latest global developments in defense and security across land, air, and sea. In this edition, we take a closer look at 5 key stories shaping the week in defense. Levent marks Turkey's shift toward independent naval air defense. Argentina begins Stryker integration with first M1126 deliveries. Saudi Arabia explores purchase of 200 Gambit CCA aircraft. F-15EX conducts high-visibility sortie over the Gulf of America. South Korea launches 3,600-ton frigate Roks Jeonnam. Brazilian Navy christens its new submarine Admiral Karam. On November 20, 2025, Roketsan confirmed that the Levent close-in air defense system successfully carried out its first seeker-guided live intercept against a real airborne target. The test represents a major step in Turkey's effort to field a fully sovereign naval air defense layer, independent of US or European systems.
Developed by Roketsan, Levent is Turkey's new shipborne close-in weapon system. It pairs an 11-missile launcher with integrated radar and electro-optical sensors, enabling autonomous 360-degree detection, tracking, and engagement. Each 3.2-meter, 75-kilogram missile reaches out to 11 kilometers and uses a hybrid imaging infrared and passive RF seeker to maintain lock in cluttered coastal zones and under electronic warfare. Its agility and fast reaction make it effective against sea-skimming missiles, aircraft, helicopters, UAVs, and loitering munitions in their terminal phase. Levent gives Turkey a modern indigenous option in a segment long dominated by systems like the Ram and at greater ranges, Sea Scepter. Its range and seeker place it firmly in the inner defense ring, while its roots in a national Manpad Shurad family streamline logistics and training. The system's successful guided intercept marks a major step in Turkey's effort to build a fully domestic layered naval air defense network, from long-range Cyper to close-in systems such as Göksu, Gökdeniz, and now Levent. Its planned integration on corvettes, frigates, and larger patrol and amphibious ships will strengthen protection against saturation attacks and drone swarms. Levent's first seeker-guided hit is therefore more than a test. It signals that Turkey is close to fielding a homegrown missile shield tailored to today's drone-heavy, missile-dense maritime environment. It enhances national technological autonomy, offers partner navies a new option in a tight global market, and helps reshape naval protection across contested regional waters.
On November 25, 2025, Argentina received its first M1126 Stryker infantry carrier vehicles from the US, marking the start of a broader modernization plan. The vehicles will be formally unveiled on December 3rd as Buenos Aires evaluates a long-term requirement of up to 207 units.
Argentina's move to acquire the Stryker stems from a broader effort to replace aging armored vehicles like the M113 with more mobile, better protected platforms. This modernization push also seeks tighter interoperability with international partners through joint training and shared systems. On July 2, 2025, Argentina signed for an initial 8 Strykers, with plans that could expand the fleet to 207. Personnel from the Exma Brigada Mecanizada and other units trained in the US on driving, maintenance, and tactical use, training that will later be replicated at home as more vehicles arrive alongside other upgrades, including new F-16s. The M1126 Stryker ICV is intended to boost tactical mobility, giving infantry protected transport across urban, rural, and rugged terrain where current vehicles struggle. It will form part of standardized mechanized brigades designed for faster, flexible operations using modern digital systems. As the fleet grows, Strykers will support transport, reconnaissance, command and control, and medical evacuation, all built around a common 8x8 chassis that strengthens cooperation with foreign forces during peacekeeping and combined exercises. The Stryker family has served the U.S. Army since 2002 in numerous variants, from infantry carrier and reconnaissance to engineer, medical, and anti-tank configurations. Modern versions include the 30mm armed Dragoon and the improved double V hull A1 models. Argentina's M1126 measures roughly 7 meters long and weigh about 17 tons. Their 8x8 traction, hydropneumatic suspension, and Caterpillar C7 engine, shared with other Argentine vehicles, simplify logistics while delivering over 500 kilometers of range and speeds above 100 kilometers per hour. Each carries 2 crew and 9 soldiers, using a remote weapon station for machine guns or automatic grenade launchers. Modular armor provides protection against automatic fire and fragmentation, with upgrade options for future needs.
Saudi Arabia is in talks with General Atomics for up to 200 Gambit collaborative combat aircraft and 130 MQ-9B drones. General Atomics displayed a full-scale GFQ-42 model at the Dubai Air Show to illustrate how the platform could operate alongside future Saudi stealth fighters.
Collaborative combat aircraft like the YFQ-42 and MQ-28 Ghostbat are unmanned jets designed to fly with advanced fighters such as the F-22, F-35, and future NGAD platforms. They can operate solo or in small autonomous teams handling air-to-air strike, electronic warfare, targeting, and intelligence roles. Their purpose is simple: expand the combat air force at far lower cost than adding more crewed fighters. General Atomics YFQ-42A is one of the 2 drones selected for the U.S. Air Force's first CCA production increment. Its long fuselage, slender wings, dorsal intake, V-tail, and internal bay for 2 AMRAAMs make it highly relevant for air-to-air missions. The Air Force plans to buy more than 100 CCAs in this initial phase, with larger numbers to follow. After its first flight in August 2025, the YFQ-42A entered a broad learning campaign combining industry tests and operational assessments. Saudi Arabia is in discussions with General Atomics to produce YFQ-42 components domestically, reflecting growing international interest, especially after a U.S. demo where an F-22 pilot controlled a GA drone using only a cockpit tablet. The YFQ-42 belongs to the Gambit family, a modular lineup built on a shared core chassis to cut costs and speed development. Gambit 1 is optimized for long-endurance surveillance, Gambit 2 for air combat, Gambit 3 for adversary training, and Gambit 4 for low observable reconnaissance. About 70% of their systems are shared, while wings, engines, sensors, and payloads can be swapped as needed. Designed to complement pilots, Gambit aircraft take on missions that are risky, routine, or workload-heavy. They can spread sensors and weapons across multiple platforms, complicate enemy targeting, and use autonomy to maintain formation and execute tasks with minimal input, preserving crewed fighters for command and critical decision-making in the most dangerous airspace.
On November 25, 2025, the US Department of War released images of F-15EX fighters conducting an evaluation flight with the Secretary of Air Force in the late aircraft. The mission highlights how the F-15EX is transitioning from a test platform to an operational strike asset within the US Air Force.
The aerial demonstration showcased the F-15EX Eagle II as a major systems and tactics evaluation for America's newest evolution of the F-15. Built from the advanced Eagle lineage, the F-15EX brings a strengthened 20,000-hour airframe, digital fly-by-wire controls, and an open mission architecture that lets the Air Force rapidly plug in new sensors, weapons, and software. With a payload of nearly 30,000 pounds and room for up to 12 air-to-air missiles, it's designed for endurance, flexibility, and firepower. Compared to aging F-15C/Ds, many of which are approaching 40 years of service, the Eagle II delivers modern avionics, advanced mission computers, and large area cockpit displays. Though it lacks the stealth of the F-22 and F-35, it's far cheaper to operate, carries significantly more weapons, and can act as a missile magazine supporting stealth fighters inside contested airspace. The Gulf of America demonstration highlighted how the jet is being woven into U.S. defense posture at home and abroad. Operating near critical coastal infrastructure reinforces its role in homeland defense, while future Air National Guard units are expected to transition to the F-15EX around 2030. Current Air Force plans call for roughly 120 to 130 aircraft, citing range, payload, and the importance of sustaining the fighter industrial base. This positions the Eagle II as a central pillar of U.S. air power in the next decade, a non-stealth but highly networked, rapidly upgradable aircraft built to integrate new weapons, support manned-unmanned teaming, and relieve pressure on costly stealth fleets. The demonstration made clear that the F-15EX has moved from concept to cornerstone, pairing a proven airframe with cutting-edge sensors and electronic warfare systems. It signals a broader shift in U.S. strategy, complementing stealth with volume of fire, survivability, and industrial readiness.
South Korea launched the new 3,600-ton frigate Roks Jeonnam at the SK Ocean Plant's shipyard, adding a modern multi-mission vessel to the FFX Batch 3 program. The ship features a ISA radar, a Korean VLS, and anti-ship missiles and hybrid propulsion to enhance anti-air and anti-submarine warfare capabilities.
The Roks Jeonnam FFG 831 is a Cheongnam-class frigate, evolved from the Daegu and Incheon classes but upgraded with fully domestically developed combat systems. Its composite integrated mast and fixed multifunction AESA radar reflect South Korea's push for greater national involvement in core naval technologies. After its launch, Jeonnam will undergo outfitting, harbor and sea trials, and is scheduled for delivery in December 2026, followed by operational evaluation. The frigate displaces about 3,600 tons standard and 4,300 tons full, measuring 129 meters long, with a crew of roughly 120, leaner than earlier Ulsan-class ships. It reaches 30 knots, cruises near 15-18 knots, and has a range of about 4,500 nautical miles for patrol, escort, and surveillance missions around the Korean peninsula. At the heart of its combat system is a four-faced fixed AESA radar, providing continuous 360-degree coverage and simultaneous tracking of air and surface targets. The integrated mast also houses infrared search and track sensors, electro-optical trackers, navigation radar, and electronic warfare systems, including the SLQ-200K Sonata suite and SLQ-261 torpedo decoys, supported by mass soft-kill launchers. Armament includes a 127mm Mk-45 Mod 4 gun, Blue Shark lightweight torpedoes from twin-triple launchers, and optional depth charges. For quiet anti-submarine operations, Jeonnam runs mainly on diesel-electric power, switching to its MT-30 gas turbine when high speed is needed. Built under the FFX Batch 3 program, 6 ships funded at 2.869 trillion won, Jeonnam was laid down in 2024 and launched in November 2025 at SK Ocean Plant. After integration, it will join the Navy's 3rd Fleet. The follow-on FFX Batch 4 will introduce further weapons and indigenous control systems as South Korea completes its next-generation frigate fleet.
The Brazilian Navy has officially christened the submarine Admiral Karam, expanding the Riachuelo class under its long-term naval modernization efforts. The new submarine strengthens Brazil's underwater deterrent as the country continues to upgrade its maritime defense posture.
Brazil's new SBR submarines, Riachuelo, Humaita, Toneleiro, and Almirante Karam, are heavily adapted from the French Scorpione class. At 71.6 meters and 1,870 tons submerged, they carry 6 533mm tubes for F-21 torpedoes and SM-39 Exocet missiles. Built for stealth, long patrols, and Brazil's vast maritime zone, they feature advanced sonar, electronic warfare suites, and a combat system tailored to Brazilian naval doctrine. The launch of Almirante Karam closes the conventional phase of ProSub, and ushers in its most ambitious step, building Brazil's first nuclear-powered submarine, the SNCA Álvaro Alberto. Expected to exceed 6,000 tons, it will carry conventional weapons but rely on an indigenous nuclear propulsion system developed by the Navy's Technological Center and the National Nuclear Energy Commission. This will give the submarine virtually unlimited submerged endurance and transform Brazil's ability to maintain long-range patrols across the South Atlantic. By late 2025, Brazil operates 4 diesel-electric submarines, 2 SBR boats, Riachuelo and Humaita, and 2 older German-derived units, Tupi and Ticuna. Once Tonelero and Almirante Karam enter service, Brazil will field 4 modern SBRs alongside its remaining legacy platforms, pending the arrival of the nuclear-powered SNCA. With PROSUB's completion, Brazil will command a 6-submarine fleet combining advanced conventional boats with nuclear endurance, making it the most capable undersea force in Latin America and the Southern Hemisphere. Beyond military gains, PROSUB has mobilized over 40 national companies, created thousands of high-skilled jobs, and advanced Brazilian expertise in nuclear propulsion, metallurgy, and underwater systems. The Álvaro Alberto will make Brazil the first Southern Hemisphere nation to field an indigenous nuclear attack submarine, cementing its role as a decisive security actor in the South Atlantic.